Have you ever pondered about the peculiar laws that exist around the world? Laws are the bedrock of any civilization, the invisible glue that binds society, providing structure and order. But sometimes, this glue takes on a rather peculiar color, leaving us scratching our heads in bewilderment. From the frigid plains of Siberia to the sun-drenched beaches of Hawaii, every corner of the globe has its own unique set of rules and regulations. These laws are shaped by cultural norms, historical events, and societal needs, each a unique reflection of the places they hail from. But every now and then we stumble upon laws that are not just unique but downright baffling. Let's take a journey, an eccentric expedition that traverses continents and time zones, to uncover some of the most intriguing laws across the globe. We're not talking about your everyday traffic regulations or public conduct codes. Oh no, we're delving into the realm of the truly bizarre. The kind of laws that make you question the very fabric of logic. For instance, did you know that in a certain part of the world it's illegal to go whale hunting in a landlocked state? Or that there's a country where wearing high heels to ancient sites is a big no-no? Or how about a law that forbids you from reincarnating without prior government permission? Sounds unbelievable, right? But they're all real legitimate laws. So why do these outlandish laws exist? Are they products of a bygone era, relics of past societal norms that no longer hold relevance? Or are they the result of legislative oversights, laws that were passed and then forgotten only to resurface in the annals of legal oddities? Or perhaps they're deliberate, designed to protect some obscure facet of life or culture that we're simply unaware of. Regardless of their origins, these laws offer a fascinating glimpse into the weird and wonderful world of legislation. They remind us that laws, like the societies they govern, can be as diverse, complex, and downright strange as the human imagination allows. So buckle up, for we're about to embark on a wild ride. Let's dive into the enigmatic world of bizarre laws. Imagine this, you're in Oklahoma, landlocked, and you're charged with illegal whaling. This may sound like a far-fetched scenario, but in fact it's a reality under the laws of this state. Yes, even though Oklahoma is hundreds of miles away from the nearest ocean, it has a law on the books that makes it illegal to hunt whales. You might be wondering, why does a landlocked state have a law about whaling? Well, the answer lies in the state's commitment to conservation. Even though Oklahoma doesn't have any whales of its own, it has chosen to take a stand against the practice of whaling. This is an example of how laws can be symbolic, expressing a state's values and beliefs, rather than just regulating behavior. In this case, Oklahoma is using its laws to send a message about the importance of protecting wildlife, no matter where it lives. It's a powerful statement about the interconnectedness of our planet, and the responsibility we all share to protect its inhabitants. So, the next time you hear about this law, don't just laugh it off as another example of legal absurdity. Instead, think about the bigger picture it represents. A commitment to conservation that crosses geographical boundaries. So if you were planning a whale hunting trip in Oklahoma, you might want to reconsider. Ladies, imagine being penalized for wearing high heels in Greece. Yes, you heard it right. In the land of the gods, the cradle of Western civilization, there exists a law that might strike as peculiar to some. This law prohibits the wearing of high heels in ancient sites. Now, you might be wondering why such a law? Well, the answer lies in the rich history and heritage that Greece is home to. The country is dotted with ancient sites that have stood the test of time, bearing witness to a glorious past. But these sites, centuries old, are vulnerable. The delicate surfaces of these monuments can be damaged by the concentrated pressure exerted by high heels. To preserve these priceless relics of history, the Greek government decided to take a stand, quite literally. They implemented a law that forbids visitors from wearing high heels at these sites. Before you gasp in disbelief, consider the implications. These measures are taken not to infringe upon personal style, but to protect and preserve the historical integrity of these ancient sites. And it's not just about preserving the past. It's about ensuring that the future generations can relish and learn from these monuments just as we do today. So, while it might be a minor inconvenience, it's a small price to pay for preserving history. So, remember to pack comfortable shoes when planning a trip to Greece. What if you were told that you need government permission to reincarnate in China? Sounds quite odd, doesn't it? But it's true. In China, there's a law on the books that requires a permit from the government to reincarnate. This unusual law is a part of China's measures to limit the influence of Tibetan Buddhism. It might seem like a far-fetched notion, but in the context of Tibetan Buddhism, reincarnation is a significant aspect of belief and practice. Tibetan Buddhists believe in a cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, and that through reincarnation, enlightened beings can choose to be reborn to continue their work of relieving suffering in the world. In the year 2007, the Chinese government took the extraordinary step of codifying this spiritual belief into law. The State Administration for Religious Affairs issued the Measures on the Management of the Reincarnation of Living Buddhas. The law stipulates that reincarnations of living Buddhas, a term used to refer to important monastic figures in Tibetan Buddhism, must be approved by the government. The law has been seen as an attempt to control the process of reincarnation to ensure that the next Dalai Lama, the highest figure in Tibetan Buddhism, is born within China's borders and under its control. It's a law that has sparked considerable controversy and criticism. Critics argue that this law is a gross infringement on religious freedom. They contend that the Chinese government is using the law to undermine and control Tibetan Buddhism, a religion that has long been at odds with the Communist Party's atheistic ideology. On the other hand, the Chinese government maintains that the law is necessary to preserve the purity and authenticity of the Buddhist reincarnation tradition, and to prevent fraudulent claims of reincarnation. So, while the law might seem bizarre to outsiders, it's a serious matter within the complex world of Chinese politics and Tibetan Buddhism. As we've seen, laws can be as much about power and control as they are about order and justice. So, if you're planning to reincarnate, make sure to get your permits in order. Ever thought you could be ticketed for letting your camel loose on the highway in Nevada? Well, it turns out that's not a hypothetical question. It's a genuine law in the Silver State. This peculiar statute forbids camels from using highways, a law that originated during the mid-19th century mining boom. You see, back then, the state of Nevada was experiencing a significant influx of miners, all eager to strike it rich in the gold and silver mines. The desert terrain was tough and traditional modes of transportation were not up to the task. So the U.S. Army introduced camels as a means of transport. These resilient creatures were perfect for carrying heavy loads across the arid landscape. However, as time went on, the camel experiment proved to be less than perfect. The camels were spooking horses and causing havoc on the newly built highways. As a result, in the late 19th century, Nevada decided to ban camels from its highways. A law that, while seemingly outdated, still exists today. Now, it's highly unlikely that you'll be spotting a camel on a Nevada highway anytime soon. But if you happen to be a camel owner in this part of the world, this is a law you might want to take note of. After all, nobody likes a traffic ticket, especially not one for a camel-related misdemeanor. So, if you're a camel owner in Nevada, keep your camels off the highway. Isn't it fascinating how laws can be as diverse and unique as the cultures they originate from? As we've journeyed through the world of the bizarre and remarkable, we've encountered some truly unexpected regulations. From the prohibition of whaling in the landlocked state of Oklahoma, to the ban on high heels in certain historical sites across Greece, we've seen that laws can truly stretch the limits of our imagination. In China, the government maintains a firm grip on spiritual matters, demanding that individuals obtain official permission before reincarnating. Meanwhile, in the desert state of Nevada, camels are not allowed to strut their stuff on the highways, a law that harkens back to the days of the Old West when camels were imported as an experiment for transportation. These peculiar laws serve as a reminder that when traveling, it's not just the landscapes and local cuisine we should familiarize ourselves with. The legal landscape of a destination can be just as intriguing and as crucial to understand. Each law, no matter how bizarre it may seem, has its roots in the local culture, history, and societal needs. They are a testament to the diversity and complexity of our global community. Remember, no matter how strange these laws might seem, they are a part of the local culture and must be respected. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.